So now we're going to move into the pre-conflict section. A lot of these things, rather than mindsets that are going to underlie everything, are more exercises and kind of experiments in your brain that you can do to figure out what exactly you need to do or what you should be doing going forward. So the first one is this. We're going to try to identify if there's any conflicts that you already have in your life that you need to bring up, that you need to address with the person, kind of like my mom with the woman that she works with. So there's no mathematical formula to figuring this out, but there's a couple of questions that you can ask yourself that are going to drive this home. And the first one is this: how well do I know this person? How close are we? The truth is, the proximity of your relationship is going to make it more necessary that you bring up conflict. For instance, if I'm walking on the street and someone tells me that I'm going to hell because I'm a sinner, I'm probably going to just continue to walk by them because I don't know them, and it doesn't matter that we're at odds in our worldview. But if I have family members that believe that something that I'm doing, not going to church, is going to send me to hell, and we have that conflict going on underneath, we need to address that. And I know family can be tough, I know religion can be tough, but these are the things that need to get handled. These are the things that can tear relationships apart, even though they look like they're still together on the outside. So first question, how close is this person to you? Second question, is this something that is likely to come up again? There's a couple things in our life that they happen once. You go, why did they do that? But they've never done it before. They're probably never going to do it again. And you know what? I'll just let it slide. Not a huge deal. There's other things that repeatedly we know. Every single time that I lend them something, I never get it back in good condition. Or I shouldn't say every time. Oftentimes when I lend them something, it doesn't come back to me in good condition, and that continues to bother me. Is this something that is a one and done with all likelihood, or is it something that you know is going to happen over and over and over again? Third question, are you harboring any resentment towards this person? Are you harboring resentment towards anyone in your life, particularly people who are close to you? Because that's a very good sign that there's a conflict there that you have not brought up. And I can speak for the example of my mom with the woman that she works with. There is some resentment there, right? She does not like this woman. I've never met her, but I've heard about her because she bothers my mom enough that she talks about it at home. So, are you harboring resentment? You might have an outwardly fine relationship, but if you have that resentment on the inside, it's already ruined. You might as well try to repair it by bringing this conflict to light. And then the fourth thing, this is kind of the question that really ties them all together. What would the most perfect, the bravest, the most moral, the most magnanimous version of yourself do in this situation? Would this be something that they brought up, that they dealt with, or would it be something they let slide? And there's going to be times when you go, you know what? Turn the other cheek, this isn't a big deal, I don't need to handle it. The perfect version of myself would just let it go. And there's going to be times you go, you know what? The perfect version of myself would be courageous here. They'd say it because they'd know that it was the right thing to do. Oftentimes we have a very good felt sense of what's right, but we block it with our fears, and we ask ourselves this question: what would the perfect version of myself do? The bravest, most courageous, moral, and also the most forgiving. What would that person do? That drives us towards the answer that we already know. So if you've got something in your head, you go, crap, there's something I need to handle, just a note on when to do it. If it's one of those things that you know comes up all the time, it's going to happen again, and it happens in a public situation, maybe somebody speaks badly about you or talks down to you or makes a joke at your own expense when you're out with friends, you do not necessarily want to address this in the moment it happens. You want to take that person aside for a private bit of time that is separate from the incident and talk to them one-on-one. That's going to be the best way, and we'll talk about what to say. There's other things where you might go, you know what? I don't know if this is ever going to happen again, so I'm not going to bring it up, but if it does, I'll have to address it in the moment. And these are typically things that happen just between you two, the dishes, that kind of stuff. If it's not a social circle, there are times where you can go, hey man, you just said that. I've noticed that you're constantly, again, I'm messing this up. I noticed that you oftentimes tell me that I should do the dishes. I feel like you're not doing them as much as you should. This is something that we should talk about, right? You bring it up in the moment. The point is that depending on the situation, whether it's public, whether it's something you know is going to happen, what you're going to want to do is set aside some private time. If it's something that is private, something that might not happen again, you could just deal with it when it happens. That's the note on when to do it, and hopefully there's something that maybe you came up with, because if there is, that means that your life is going to get better once you deal with it.